Tonight, I suppose, Minister, I'm speaking on behalf of the families whose lives have been turned upside down by the hip dysplasia scandal, particularly those who have sat in my constituency office over the past couple of weeks in Dundalk, so upset about the care for their little children. I want to ask the Minister, how is the Department planning to support those families to get treatments, follow-up care for those children who have had the hip surgery for hip dysplasia? These families who did everything right. They brought their children to hospital, they trusted the system, they believed that the care that their children were receiving was necessary and in their best interests. Now those families are in a state of limbo. The recent audit is absolutely welcome, it's necessary, it's important, but let's be honest, it has not brought certainty, and it certainly won't bring trust or confidence in the system. Instead, it has brought a fresh fear and confusion. But also, more importantly, an audit won't sort out the issue that I'm raising this evening, and that is the families want and deserve financial supports, I suppose, to be compensated or to be facilitated to get their children treated elsewhere. Parents no longer know if their child needed the surgery they were given. They no longer trust the hospital, no longer trust the consultants, and they do no longer trust the system. And many of them are asking the heartbreaking question, was my child operated needlessly? And if that was the case, then in my view it was a grave violation, nothing short of a serious assault on that child. Can we as a government, as a society, seriously expect the families to return to the same hospital for follow-up care, for check-ups, for x-rays? And it's simply not tenable, it's not reasonable. And as a mother myself, I wouldn't let them go near my child if I thought there was a hint of a suggestion that surgeries were done that were not necessary. Many of these families are now scraping together whatever money they can find to seek second opinions, mostly going to Northern Ireland, just to ensure their child receives safe and trusted care. That is not a situation that should exist in a functioning healthcare system. It's not acceptable that these parents are paying out of pocket for something the state should be ensuring. But this is not the government's fault, but it's absolutely the government's responsibility. And these families need immediate access to independent care pathways. They need financial support to access those second opinions. They need trauma-informed services. And most of all, they need to know they are not alone in this. They've felt abandoned by the hospital, they feel abandoned by the doctors, and they're desperately worried about their children. And by doing and supporting the families to do this, we'll send a message not to the families but to every family in the country that we will treat our children with respect and dignity, that we value accountability, and whether or not, I suppose, our health care is worthy of trust. Oh my God. Here, I have a huge sense of frustration here. My question was in relation to, the financial supports. And yes, you say the certain treatments are available in Ireland, and so therefore it's a no. But I'm sorry, this is not a normal situation. And when the trust breaks down, and I repeat what I said, if my child was even a hint of suggestion that they were operated, wrongly or unnecessarily, I wouldn't let anyone in that hospital touch them. They're little bodies, they are precious. And I think it's to a point, it's disingenuous of the department to come back here and tell us that, and tell a parent that the dignity and the integrity of their child's little body is to be backed, so the hospital should trust the hospital with that. I'm sorry, Minister, but the department are going to have to relook at this. They're going to have to, listen to parents and really reconsider and actually support parents to make sure, and whether it's to get a different doctor to come from abroad to look at these files, to a doctor that is not associated with CHI or Tempest Street or anything got to do with them. It is an unprecedented situation, and it absolutely calls for an unprecedented response, because we do need to instil trust in these parents, in the families. And it's a huge disappointment where the department are absolutely right and proper in doing these audits, in working and all the processes. I have nothing to disagree with. But a child's health, a child's wee physical body who may not, and the tiny wee bones who possibly would be operated on unnecessarily, I think they deserve, I suppose, the respect, and their families deserve the respect to say that, yes, we will make sure that we will get a doctor that you can trust and you can believe.